Hey there, everyone. Charlie here from A Tale of Dice. I'm here to give you another summary of our adventures. This time it's going to be Chapter 2. I was about to record when, somebody got into some kind of mood. And he's all cuddly now. So I'm just gonna enjoy what's happening, and I'm gonna keep going. So, with our adventures in Los Cepos coming to an end, the pack continues their adventure. They want to chase the Maddox, the man who enslaved Gricol, my character. They want to chase him down and probably kill him. So they head north. They're heading towards Fremgrist, city, the capital city of a northern province in the Empire. And, oh gosh, listen to that. Alright, so they want to kill the Maddox, the man who enslaved Gricol and abducted him from his homeland of the Wildgrove. So they enlist the help of a ship and their crew. The ship's called the Bellathrone, and basically they make this deal where they serve as protectors of the ship during their long journey north. And in return, they get free passage as well as lodging and food and drinks and, loot and XP. Anyway, so they agree to join the ship, the Bellathrone. They go aboard and they meet all the locals. You have the captain, Marcus, this gentrified old human with a bit of an accent, kind of royalty type. You have Ilona, the elven quartermaster. I think she's a bard, some kind of sorceress, arcane magic user at the very least. Then you have Dural, first mate, half-orc, and aside from Gricol, generally the coolest guy on the ship. We also have Danny, the bootsman. Danny, he's one of your stereotypical dwarves. And, he's a tinkerer, uses a gun, he maintains most of the weaponry on the ship and anything gunpowder related. He's still going at it. I can do anything to him at this point. Okay, so, anyway, we struggled to take Melo on board, and, eventually, Hannah kind of forces the poor cat into joining us, but, we meet everyone, we get obsessed with the ballistas on board, we learn how to use them, and we start making our way north, basically. So an interesting tidbit that I kind of skipped out on in the summary of Chapter 1 is that Allison, he's been having these nightmares, right? He's been, he has visions, he wakes up screaming. Even though he's an elf, he needs to sleep like a normal person once a week, and he keeps having these nightmarish visions, and he attacks us, he goes berserk, and over the course of the past few weeks, the pack, our party as we've been calling it, they've been trying to find a way to cope with this, trying to tie him up or just guard him. Usually it just kind of ends up with Gricol bashing Allison's face in, knocking him out, and then happily waking him up again in the morning. So this keeps going, but on the ship, Allison seems to actually have a bit more of a. Over the course of our journey, Allison actually seems to have more positive experiences as he discovers that he has these magical powers. He starts getting taught by Alona in how to control them at the very least. Have a little bit of a modicum of understanding, and she gives him, as well as Hannah, a bit of explanation about their heritage, a bit of tutelage about their powers as far as she can do, and Allison's condition seems to be getting better. He seems to be getting into control, but also he seems to be having this one consistent thing that he's dreaming about now, which is some kind of sailor woman, captain pirate, probably, and he's been kind of tagging along in her body or her mind whenever he's asleep. And this is kind of, developing, and we've yet to find out what this means for Allison or the pack, and how it's going to affect us. But, I have a little bit of an inkling, if Wouter's worth his salt as a storyteller, that we're going to find out, and we're going to find out who this person is. Is she alive? Is she dead? Are we... who knows? Okay, so we make our way north. In the meantime, Gurkal also gets obsessed with Dural, the first mate, or rather his weapon style. He has this large two-handed axe, the two-handed head splitter, he calls it, and it's an orcish weapon, and he starts teaching Gurkal how to use it during the journey. They get close, they get good friends. They turn into good friends. And, you okay, buddy? Okay, yeah. Okay, I think he's okay. So, we start making our way north, and first we find out that, during the first night I think it was, that there are these monsters in the ocean. They're flying over the ship. They start attacking us. We get attacked. We kill them, of course. And we found out in the morning that there was a storm, and there was a dead dragon turtle just kind of floating in the ocean where we were, and these beasts, these monsters, must have been scavengers of some kind. So, as is appropriate, we loot the dragon turtle. How do we loot it? By simply hooking some harpoons into it and towing it along, because, why split it up? We sell the whole dragon turtle. So we start getting, chased by the storm. Gets kind of scary and unnerving. The storm that haunted us on the first night, with all the monsters attacking us, it just keeps going and going, and eventually, as we head north, we stop at this place called Grace Bay, which is this home of the this old cold iron mining town. Now, no longer any cold iron, just memories and stuff, I guess. We arrive at the city, or this town, and we find out that the storm's just kind of looming in the distance there, it's just waiting for us to do something. So we get kind of unnerved. We try to find out clues. What could the storm be? Is it a sentient storm? Is there a monster there? We kind of have things. Gurkal seems to have visions, but he is too stupid to understand or properly interpret them, so they kind of get ignored. Iroh meets a new friend called Ori, who is basically Iroh, but worse, in drinking and partying, at the very least. So this goes on and on and on, and so cute. So this goes on, and Iroh and Ori party off while the rest of the pack starts searching for clues as to what the storm could be, and we find out some information. The storm, it was there before, a long time ago, and we also find out that it keeps attacking the high points in the city, in every city. So we defend Grace Bay. against monsters, little water imps of all kinds. And it also gets attacked by a giant storm dragon. Storm dragon, which was personally seeking out us. That's kind of weird, right? It's chasing us, and we don't know who this guy is, right? But either way, Grikal is ecstatic. He is happy because, I get to fight a dragon. That's great. So we fight the dragon, we kill the dragon, we get helped by Dural and Danny, and we also get helped by this local keeper. She's called Keeper Lucatiel of the Shorelight. And she's this paladin, she's similar to Grikal in that sense, or champion. And she protects the lighthouse. She protects the city against all kinds of dangers, including, this. So we find out afterwards, after angrily questioning the captain, we found out that the cargo that we're protecting northwards is actually some kind of magical plant from a different dimension, a different plane. And this storm, this semi-sentient storm, is chasing us, sending its monsters after us to kind of reclaim a piece of its own. It's the elemental plane of air. He's falling asleep. Alright. So we get real angry, Marcus, right? Like, hey, you should have told us, so we could have taken appropriate measures. But we meet with the Lord and Lady of Grace Bay, the city we just saved, and they reward us. So we figure it's all good, man. Keeper Lucatiel does kind of start questioning us, but we're all cool about it because Grikal kind of went on a religious rant, and the keeper just kind of bought it because she's all religious too. And she then even gave us a little enchantment to keep the storm away from us, which is also just excellent. And that is when we continue our journey northward. With a storm dragon killed, actually one that we eat now. We head northwards. Oh, bye. So with the storm dragon killed, and the threat of the storm kind of kept at bay for now, we continue northwards. And hopefully finish our hunt for the Maddox. Oh yeah. In the meantime, Hannah learns to further control her powers. She makes up with the ship's cook, Fisher, who she insulted during her first conversation with him. And Allison starts learning to control his magic. Ira was also getting a bit of magic in there, which he's learning to kind of control, but he just kind of enjoys whatever he's doing. And Grikal buys this cool new weapon set in Grace Bay, which is this mechanical type weaponry, which he can, it's a sword, it's a spear and a shield, and he puts the spear in the shield and it turns into a giant head splitter, which is really nice. And Allison gets this new weapon from the rulers of Grace Bay, but he doesn't really know how to use that yet, so we're gonna get to that, hopefully. Maybe he'll make himself useful with it in the end. Not sure. Either way, the Bellathrone continues its journey northward, and hopefully towards the Maddox's death. Thanks for watching again. If you want to watch us play, make sure to check out our stream at 7. And I think that's all, folks. Thanks for listening. Love you guys.